right, hey, vinyl community, Jeff back again, another contest. This is for Richard McCook. He's doing the My Quarter contest. I have a link to that below. You can check it out. And yeah, contest basically, well, we don't know exactly what it's based on. That's part of the contest. What does he mean by My Quarter? But the general idea, of course, is to make a video. He wants to see 4 albums that are eponymously named. And so, I mean, now, so many bands have, you know, those type of albums. So, and a lot of times it's the first album. It's the first album, just comes out self-titled. I tried to make myself a little more limited and say no first albums. I mean, because so many first albums are that way. So I went with albums that are not the first album in a collection. So it seems kind of weird. Why would you later on? I don't know why bands do it. You know, why would they have something named that way? So anyway, I went ahead and just tried to go with, like I say, non-first album releases. So we've got Keel, their 4th album, just called Keel. Their 4th album, you know. Did they run out of names? You can see if the first album was called Keel, but the 4th album seems kind of weird. But the same thing happened with Trouble. Trouble's 4th album. I'm not quite, you know, I wonder. I can see the first album, you just kind of come out there, just throw it out there with the band name on it, but never quite sure why bands do it in the middle of their catalogs. It's even worse when you jump into it and you got like Dream Theater with like this is like their, I don't know, 13th studio album. Another thing that I did notice, and I was going to pull a bunch like this, but I did notice that a lot of bands have done it. Not a lot. I noticed a couple examples where bands have done it as a sort of a start over. So with Queensryche, you know, you've got, this is their like 13th or 12th, 13th, I don't know. It's way up there in the double digits. And they just call it Queensryche. But the thing is, new singer, maybe they do that. Quiet Riot did the same thing. Quiet Riot 4, which is just called Quiet Riot, is got a new singer. So there are some examples of that, kind of like where they're starting over. But I don't know, maybe that's a reason why they would just go with that type of title. But there you go, Queensryche. So there's 4 for that. Then he wants to see the album with the longest title. Now he had one, I think, what was his, like 80 characters? I had one I thought of. It probably didn't have near as many as this one. I just happened to stumble across this, and I can't off the top of my head think of any that are longer than this, but maybe there's one. I just can't. I don't recall any titles that are like obnoxiously long. But A Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper at the Olympia, Paris is the official title, and it's about 50 characters long. If you don't include the spaces, I know when typing, spaces are characters. So if you wanted to include the spaces between the words, you know, you probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 9 or 10 more characters, 50 or 60. But if you just count the letters in there, and it's just around 50. So there you go. That's probably the longest I have. And like I said, that is the title, A Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper at the Olympia Theater, Olympia, Paris. So there's that. And then he wants to see one with the shortest title. And I was trying to initially stick with vinyl, but I did find that I don't have this on vinyl, nor do I have the other one I was going to use. I was going to use the Beatles one because it's one, but, and you probably find this hard to see, but this is Neil Morse, and the album is actually right there in the smoke. You can barely see it with the design, is a question mark, and that is literally the title. It says right on the spine there, just says it's got a question mark. So, and you probably can't see that either. And so yeah, the title of the album is, as you can see, it may be a little darker there. It's just a question mark. And then there's a question mark live album that came after this, and it's just got the question mark. So, but like I say, I've got a CD in my other room of, you know, like the Beatles one, and there's other bands that have just numbers. But I thought this was neat because it's not a number, it's a character, question mark. So, there you go, that's the shortest one. Now, the other thing he wanted to do is to give a guess as to, kind of a bonus question, give a guess as to why he would name this title My Quarter. And it's like you look at it and he's like, well, he's got like 1,500 subscribers. That's not a quarter to anything unless it's a quarter to 6,000, which makes no sense. 455 videos. I mean, that's not a quarter to anything. You know, if you're looking to 1,800 videos, you're a quarter of the way there. It's not really that. And so, you know, I don't know. I looked at how many he's done these, you know, like Vinyl Finds videos. He's up to like 69. If he had 100 out of 400, that might have been a quarter, but I wasn't thinking that was it. Maybe he's done a quarter of his videos on contests, but I don't know. That seems like a lot. 450 videos, you did 115 of them or so, 112 of them on contests. I find that hard to believe. So my thoughts are that either, that I'm thinking maybe he has been, but see, I don't know, because it's not, you know, I'm guessing we're probably close to the same age. But then again, so I've gotten back into vinyl like 5 years ago. Maybe he got back into vinyl 25 years ago. Maybe this is his quarter of a century of collecting vinyl. Maybe it's a quarter of a century of being into music, but I don't know. I've been collecting music for probably half a decade. So, I'm sorry, half a decade. Yeah, 5 years. No, I've been collecting music probably for half a century. Maybe not quite, but, you know, close, pushing it. So, yeah, there's a lot of things it could be. But I'm going to stick with that. Maybe he has gotten back into buying vinyl records for 25 years. Because that would make a little sense, because that means he's got back into it in the late 90s or early 2000s when it was really out of style. But I don't know. He's probably been collecting it since he was a kid. He just never got rid of it. I did that whole phase where in the 90s I got rid of records and didn't get back into them until the teens, the 2017-ish. So, his quarter. Maybe he needs a quarter to finish paying his electric bill. No. Maybe he's a quarter of a way to making $1 million in life. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Let's go with that, though. He's been buying records and stuff, or, you know, been heavily involved in collecting music for 25 years. Anyway, who knows? We'll see. Thanks a lot, Richard. Here's the, link below. You jump on this contest, and we'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.